welcome to TLC, where we dive into the heart of our local community, its wineries, restaurants, business, and real estate. Hi, I'm Troy Anderson, your host, along with my co-host Pamela, and we do have a special guest today. We are here to bring you a new perspective on what's happening in our community. So we have Chelsea Dudder-Cox, the Woodinville wine tasting room manager for Goose Ridge, and
Monson Ranch Distillery, I guess.
Yay!
yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, well, let's just kick this off, shall we? We're excited to have you in studio with us. Now, as Troy mentioned, you're from Goose Ridge Tasting Room, but what most people might not know is there's another side to Goose Ridge. Now, we've sampled a couple of bottles of Goose Ridge wine on the show in past
It's like
episodes.
the Goose Ridge show here.
It was a little bit.
It's great.
And they were both great.
Good.
But, the fact that you guys have more to offer than just wine, we figured that was something that the community might actually not know about, and we would love to kind of talk about that because, as we mentioned a few times on the show, not everybody is into wine, right? And
Absolutely.
So when your friends say, let's go wine tasting, and it isn't your deal, you're like, well, what am I going to do, right?
Yep.
So, okay. All right. So our first segment is Sipping on Success, and we are going to talk about the success of the other side of Goose Ridge, which is Monson Artisan.
It's Monson Ranch Distillery.
Oh, okay.
Monson Ranch
So
Distillery.
it started with our vodka and has now expanded to gin and brandy.
Mm.
And we're actually we purchased a distillery that's offsite of in Prosser, so
Okay.
just down the road from our winery.
Oh, perfect. All right, so we're going to get into more of the details of what that involves and what you have to offer, and some of the cool things that other people might not know about. I know you and I have talked about this, and I told Troy that there's this event that you guys do once a month that he didn't know about, so we're going to share that too. But you've brought us a treat. What have you brought us?
I brought you, so it's got our Feather Folly Gin, but it's called a Bee's Knees. So it's
Bee's Knees. What's that?
Bee's
Yeah.
Knees. So it's our gin, and then it's lemon juice and honey simple syrup and a little bit of soda water. It's one of my personal favorites. I think the key to the success of this is really good honey, because
Okay.
that brings in other flavors.
Is it local? Honey?
The local honey, yes.
Nice.
I purchased local honey. I think it's like South Washington, Northern Oregon, and it's just really rich and flavorful.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we get the fun task of sampling a cocktail today, so I'm excited.
No wine. Pam, you should be happy.
I'm delighted. Not that I don't like wine, I absolutely do, but I love the opportunity to feature something different. Now,
Yes.
normally I'm a vodka drinker.
Oh,
When I do drink, I'll have a vodka and tonic, but this reminds me color-wise like a lemon drop. So-
Yes, and definitely could be along those lines. And you could make this with vodka too. Both would definitely work.
Thank you.
I also at home sometimes will put a little spin on it and add a tiny bit of cayenne if you like a little spice.
spice. Nice.
But this is definitely tart.
Okay.
Hopefully the honey balances it out for you.
Okay,
You
well-
said you liked citrus, so I was
I
like,
did say I like
hopefully-
citrus. Well,
hopefully.
cheers.
Cheers.
Here's to Friday cocktails.
Friday cocktails.
All right, we're going to sample this, okay? Ooh, you have a mean paw, lady.
Yes, and that's part of the Bee's Knees is that it's definitely a potent cocktail.
Really?
So if I finish this, Troy, don't expect me to do any work this afternoon.
And I even chilled it out a little bit. So if I make it at home, it's equal parts gin or vodka to equal parts lemon juice and the honey, and just a splash of honey simple.
That's
but
tasty.
This has a little soda in it to kind
Yeah,
of chill
to
it out.
cut it.
Yeah, a
Oh.
little bit. Just
So-
a little bit.
Yeah,
So what
so
goes into it exactly?
So the Feather Folly Gin.
Yeah.
And then you've got lemon juice, honey simple syrup, and just a little soda to
Little
mellow
soda.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I like about it, it's really refreshing. It does have a little bit of that tartness kind of at the back of the tongue, but it's not like drinking a lemonade. That when you kind of suck in your cheeks when it's really
Yeah.
tart. It has a tiny smidge of that, but it has just enough softness in that honey.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out what else it is I can taste in there. I know it's notes of something from the honey, but I don't know if it's
It might be from the gin too. So the gin has it's copper pot distilled with 6 different botanicals. So
Ooh.
it might be one of those. So there's
I'm tasting that.
yeah. Angelica, black lime, licorice root, coriander, juniper, and orange zest in there.
Okay.
You did good. That's right on the back of the bottle.
Yeah, I think it's
Good memory.
You know my stuff.
She knows this. That's why she's the manager of the tasting room,
Yes.
because she knows what's going on.
I better.
And made in Washington State. I love it.
Yeah. No, this is really good, and I kind of want the glasses too. Can I buy these?
Yeah, you absolutely
Yeah,
can.
for those on the podcast,
Yeah.
they're black and they've got a yellow Feather and Folly Gin logo on the front. They're upper level. I think.
Yeah. There's
This is
stoneware.
really good.
Stoneware.
Yeah.
That's great.
You like it? Yeah.
I do, yeah. And like I said, I'm normally a vodka drinker, and you can tell most people can tell the difference between a vodka and a gin, but they're not so far apart in this cocktail, right?
Yeah.
So if you're somebody that really doesn't like gin, I don't think you'd be offended by this at all.
It's approachable.
Yes, I like that. It is.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think, Troy? You're not normally
I don't normally drink gin, no, or vodka, but I think it's very tasty. It could be dangerous because it goes down
that's
so
what they're hoping for.
easily. So yeah, I will be working this afternoon, so I won't be partaking too much of it. But
Yeah. No, this is good.
it has a great flavor. Great flavor.
It really does, and it's really hard to kind of pick the flavor apart because it's so complex, but so smooth as well. You know, there's nothing that's just kind of jarring to the taste. It's kind of mellow. It's like, okay, this is a good Friday afternoon drink.
Yes.
Thank you, Chelsea. I
You're
like
welcome.
that.
Thanks for bringing something different. So if someone wants to come visit you, do you guys put these concoctions together for them, or is
So what we do monthly is we do a monthly cocktail. So each month it'll be
Okay.
either vodka or gin based, depending on what we come up with for the month. On the weekends we serve those Friday through Sunday, but
Okay.
also during the week you can do a spirits tasting. And so you get a little sample of the vodka, gin, brandy, and then a little bit of that cocktail of the month. So
Okay.
kind of fun. You can
Oh.
come and do a spirits, Monson Ranch Distillers spirits tasting
like
in the
right
tasting
at
room.
the Goose Ridge Winery tasting room?
Absolutely.
Wow.
And just in Woodinville.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. So that's the gin, which like I say, I don't normally buy it, but I actually might buy some of this. It's I can see, what else do we do with that? French 75.
Oh yes, and that's
Yeah.
our cocktail of the month.
Oh,
for
is
is
April.
it? Oh, well,
Yeah.
okay. I better get in there before the end of the month. Yeah. So French 75. This would be great with that. So you know
What's
how to
made?
make a French 75.
Yeah.
Troy, do you know how to make a French 75?
I've gone 75 miles an hour in France.
Not the same thing.
Okay.
I have too.
I think we might all have.
Oh,
but-
kilometers, I should say.
Kilometers, yeah.
Yeah.
So for everybody that doesn't know how to make a French 75, real quick.
So usually is gin, lemon juice, a little simple syrup, and then champagne or sparkling
Oh, champagne.
prosecco. Yeah.
Yeah.
And ours, we actually used our Cascadian Outfitters because we have sparkling wine in a can. So we have our rosé bubbles and then our white bubbles. So, and actually this month we used the rosé bubbles for a little fun, and it's this light
Little
pink,
pink?
color.
Oh, sweet.
Very spring.
Oh, I know. I'm doing tomorrow night. Goose Ridge, here I come.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the gin. So which came first? The vodka. I know the answer, but the vodka or the gin? Which came first at Goose Ridge?
Vodka came first, and then gin about a year and a half, 2 years after that. Brandy came at the same time. We released the brandy at the same time as the
Oh,
gin.
okay. I thought the brandy was newer.
It just was released in such a small amount
Right.
at first because it was such a small batch that it went really quick. So,
So you don't
it
advertise
came
it
and
as much?
went, but they both kind of were released within like a week of each other. Yeah.
Well, this is really good quality. So let's talk about the vodka just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously we want to let everybody know that there's options if you're not a gym.
It's the official vodka of the
Seattle
Kraken.
Kraken.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's well. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
Fantastic.
It's very fun. And Climate Pledge in general. So,
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But we've got some Kraken label vodka. So if you're a huge fan, you can come and get the Vito vodka with the Kraken label on
You know
it.
what a great gift for somebody who's really into
Absolutely.
sports, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're struggling, Father's Day.
There you
Father's
go.
Day's Mother's Day too.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a great gift idea.
Yeah. We've got a lot of Kraken fun, things like glasses and pour spouts too to go along, so we can make you like a little
fun.
gift package.
Oh, yeah.
You guys really are all inclusive.
We try to be.
They've got the best merch, too.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before, and maybe that's why we talk about Goose Ridge so much, is they've got everything, or they've got something for everybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want the Goose T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Goose. I want that one. Yeah. Like you said, you've got the gin, you've got the vodka, you've got the merchandise. Sometimes you carry Cougar Gold, right?
Yes.
So
We
is
Go
that
Cougs.
We have a little in stock right now.
okay?
Yep.
So-
We try and keep it when we can get it. We can't always get it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. So that's the spirits, but you also do cider.
Yes, absolutely. And we've got new flavors coming out here. I think May 5th, we're releasing honey lavender and then cosmic apple. So our cosmic crisp apples.
Okay.
I think I've had that before. That's good.
Yeah. Yep. We've made it
It's
before.
nice and fresh.
Yep. It's really nice and fresh.
So your cosmic apple. So for anybody that doesn't drink cider, they can be either sweet or they can be dry. So what kind of level is your apple cider at?
I would say it's not semi-sweet. It's not quite that sweet. It's kind of in that sweet spot, right in the middle.
Pardon the pun.
Part of
Well
the
done,
pun.
Chelsea.
Yep. It's not super dry. It's not semi-sweet. It's kind of in that middle range that I think is really approachable for a lot of people. Yep.
Now a lot of these are seasonal, right?
Yep.
So, but you do have it year round, right? The cider.
We have cider year-round, but the flavors are seasonal, rotational. So every couple of months, we're putting out new cider flavors, and with that, there's a cider club too. So
And that's
kind
on
of fun.
tap, right? You bring your growler in, or you buy a growler, and
In bottle and on tap.
in
Yep.
bottle and on tap. Okay.
Yeah, they make great gifts too. I've had a few of those been delivered to my house before now.
Oh, sweet.
People must think I drink a lot. I really don't.
We'll have to do in this podcast.
I was gonna
Well,
say,
yeah.
Well, the podcast is about,
It's about wine and beer and spirits and restaurants and you know,
Yeah.
having to feature those. So, so on the cider front, you have obviously they rotate out. Is there any that are that you have all year round? Is there no?
So we're always rotating. I would say there's a few staples like in November, right before Thanksgiving, we always release spiced cranberry. If we don't, we'd have a lot of very upset people because
really?
everybody's like, when's the
Spiced
spiced
cranberry
cranberry
coming?"
coming?
That's like everybody in their pumpkin spice lattes.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh.
That's what it is for cider at Goose Ridge. So
Nice.
we do that every year. But other than that, there's not. And then the Cosmic Crisp is definitely in the cherry. Those are probably the three that, because we grow cherries too. So something we like to keep. But again, always seasonal, always rotational. So always fun new things coming out.
So how many do you typically have on tap at one go?
Four
Okay.
on tap. Yep.
That's a good selection.
Yeah.
Have you tried it, Troy?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What have you tried and what's been your favorite?
The.
Putting them on the spot
I
here.
know. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, we did a cider tasting when you first came out with it, which was how many years ago?
I think 5 or 6
Yeah,
years ago.
so-
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wine's my jam.
Yeah.
But there's something for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to admit, I love the cherry.
Yeah, the cherry's really
Okay.
good. I love cherries.
I've tried a few of them. Do you do a Marionberry one?
We do a blackberry.
Blackberry.
Yep,
yeah,
we
I've
have
tried
that on
that
tap
one.
right now.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
That, that seems like a more of an autumn.
Yeah, I
one,
think it
but-
came out like the end of I think it was like September-ish that one
Okay.
came out. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
All right.
But again, we're flowing into the new spring flavors here
I
soon.
know we're recording this in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
and so what's coming up at Goose Ridge?
What's coming up? Let's see here. Next week I'm doing a really fun class that kind of goes along with this. It's build your own cocktail herb garden.
Ooh.
So people get to come in, we'll plant some herbs, we'll drink a cocktail while we do it. I'll talk about, what you can use these herbs in for cocktails. So
Okay.
making simple syrups, muddling, that kind of thing. Give you some recipes, and then also just give you good care for those kinds of plants for the herbs and stuff too.
So if
on.
anybody's interested in those classes, where can they find them?
On gooseridge.com, if you go to visit us and then go to the calendar and click on Woodinville, because there's the 4 locations. Click on Woodinville, and then it'll have a list of everything going on, all our live music, all our events, that kind of thing. We've got a blending party coming up soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your patio's the best for sunsets in the summer.
I agree.
Yeah.
and it's finally getting to that
I
weather where you
know,
want
I
to sit
know.
outside.
So you guys typically have a plethora of events throughout the months, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, that can be anything from, I think you guys have done painting and drinking and...
I've done, in my past life, I was a wedding and event floral designer. So I've done a couple floral design events. One where we cut our Revelation rosé bottles down. They've got a really beautiful label, and use those as vases. And then I taught everybody how to make a floral design inside of it. The blending parties, which are really fun. So our winemaker comes over from Richland, and
Ooh, I gotta go to that.
yeah, you get to make your own bottle of wine. So you get to taste through every iteration that you would want to, and then finalize your blend, and then you get to bottle it and cork it and draw a label for it. And it's really fun because he educates you on the different varieties and what goes into blending and all
Why
of that
you blend
too.
this with that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be right up your alley,
That would
especially
be
as you've
right up
already
my
done some of the work already, but I know you like to drink it, but...
Well, I do have an enology certificate, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that'd be a fun extracurricular activity for you. Take your wife with you. Maybe she'd have fun doing it too. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. I wanted to do I know in the past you guys have done like the cake decorated. We've kind of gone off at a tangent here with
We
all of
have.
the events, but I think it's important to note that the reason we're bringing this up is because there is so much more to do than just sit and drink wine, right? Which is obviously something that we're passionate about, but just knowing that, you know, that sometimes there's an idea that, there's nothing else to do in Woodinville except drink wine. That's not true, people. That's not true. There is plenty to do, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I would agree.
We have live music every week too. Fridays 4 to 7, Thursdays 5 to 7, Fridays 4 to 7. So
Twice a week?
yep,
Wow.
yep, every week.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to the spirits, because
Yeah,
that's what we're here to
absolutely.
talk about today. So gin, vodka, brandy. Anything else on the horizon from the spirit front?
It's growing. I know that there are other things in play. I don't know how much I can say yet, but there's probably some things that might need rye in them. We're growing some
I think
rye.
Tiffany hinted at the chamber breakfast,
Yeah.
or no, the lunch, the
Yep.
chamber lunch the
Yep.
other day, that there might be some brown stuff
spirits,
in the
yeah.
works.
So we're growing. We planted rye, so hopefully there'll be something with rye in it. Maybe
Starts with a W.
that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, I think there's lots of fun things on the horizon. I don't know the full aspect of it, but yes, some brown spirits. There might be maybe rum. I don't know all of those details, but it's definitely growing, and it's going to be really fun to see all the different.
It's been great to see the things that have transpired over the years. You know, the wine to the cider to the vodka to just.
Yeah.
And one thing I should say I didn't say earlier is all of our spirits are made from wine. So that alone is unique. I mean, it's done. People make spirits out of wine, but it's not something you see everywhere. So all of our spirits are made from our Cabernet.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay,
Really?
that's really surprising, because you automatically assume it's gin, so it's usually made from juniper, right? And if it's vodka, it's going to be made from either wheat or potatoes, or, you know, but it's grapes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I learned something today, something
Yeah,
big.
that's cool. So, yeah.
And the brandy spends just under, right around 5 years in French oak. So it's really nice, rich in flavor, pulls in a lot of those vanilla flavors from the oak, but it's also not sweet. It's dry, so it's really clean and super
So from a
delicious.
technical aspect, then you talked about French oak, right? Do you use those barrels just for that, or then do they go on for wine production, or do you switch it the other way, wine production then back into spirits?
Correct, wine production, and
See,
then I
Troy,
think
you've taught me something.
yeah, I think
Yes.
that, and
This is
again,
good.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me. I mean, I am being quoted, but
You're
I'm
on
pretty
air.
sure it was you're on air. Pretty sure it's wine barrels, and then they were second use, so they recharred them and then put the brandy in them. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. That gives it a really good, rich flavor.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
fantastic. All right. Well, we can't not talk about wine for just a iota,
Of
right?
course.
Okay, because that's the start of the business for
Yes.
Goose Ridge, right?
Yeah.
Obviously now it's Monson Ranch Distillery, but what's on the wine front? What are we talking new releases for the season?
New release, Sauvignon Blanc will be coming out here, I think,
one of my
May
favorites.
8th. Me too. My absolute favorite. And Andrew, our winemaker, has been teasing us that it's
Really
tasting so good, and
Yeah.
in a month it's going to be tasting even better.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's my personal favorite every year. I rarely buy a case of anything because, you work in a winery, you get lots of good stuff. But every year I've bought a case of it because
Okay.
I'm like, I want this when I want it. I want to be able to pull it out of the fridge and have
Yeah,
some.
I don't think I've tasted a Sauvignon Blanc from Goose Ridge. I mean, I've done the Chardonnay and a few others, but okay. Can you put my name on a bottle?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
We have somebody in the know, so
I got your back.
I appreciate that. That's
Put it
fantastic.
Yeah, some other things we just released Vireo, which is one of our flagships, a 2019. It's usually about a third of Cab Merlot and Syrah. And again, flagship, crowd favorite, club member favorite. So that's a really good one. A brand new Malbec, 2018 Malbec. Now, if I had to pick a favorite white and a favorite red, favorite white, Sauvignon Blanc, favorite red, the Malbec. So, and it's just got all those really nice blackberry, Marionberry notes to it, and it's inky in color. So I'm excited. We just released that too.
Okay. I think I want my name on one of those too.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
You're buying them out today.
Yeah, I know. My husband will be like, "What?" Not really, but yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're probably good to take a quick break. And so
We'll be
stay
right
tuned.
back.
We'll be right back with Chelsea from Goose Ridge and Monson Distillery. Stay tuned.
Hey, homeowners and aspiring buyers looking for a real estate team who are about you and your community? Look no further than Tend Home Team. We are here to help you navigate the sometimes overwhelming world of real estate. From buying to selling, we've got your back. Let's work together to find your dream home or sell your current one. Contact us today, tendhometeam.com. Let's get started.
Welcome back to TLC Tend Life Community Podcast. I'm your co-host Pamela. I'm here with Troy Anderson and Chelsea Dudder-Cox from Goose Ridge Tasting Room. Before the break, we were enjoying a really nice, cold and super delicious cocktail. Remind us of the name of it again, Chelsea.
Bee's Knees.
Bee's Knees. It's a bee's knees. Yep. I like it.
It really is. Sorry, I took a mouthful there. Like, I got to stop doing it because my mouth gets all kind of like, I salivate. It's
Opens
yummy.
up those taste buds.
Yeah, it really does. It's delicious. All right, so before the break, we were talking about your gin, your vodka, and now it's time for our real estate roundup. So, Troy, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Awesome.
In real estate terms, we have all of these things that we talk about that homeowners need to be aware of potentially when they are putting their houses up on the market. And one of the things that we quite often hear is, it needs to have really good curb appeal.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those who don't maybe understand what we mean by that, let's dig into that a little bit more. What do you mean by curb appeal, Troy? What do you mean?
Well, in simple terms, it's what the house looks like when you're standing on the curb, basically.
Well, okay, can we, that's very simplistic. Can we?
No, and then I'll dive into that. I mean, so you want the house to have the most appeal to the largest pool of buyers. And so you want their first impression to be the best when they drive up to the house. You got to think about the landscaping. You got to think about the driveway. Does it have moss on it? I mean, we're in the Pacific Northwest, so of course it does. Yeah. So you clean that up, make sure the lawn's tidy, and front porch is well swept if there is one. That there's a splash of color, maybe some fresh flowers in the front, hanging basket, things like that. And then make sure it's not always can we have new paint or anything like that, but if there is damaged paint and things like that, then those need to be fixed. Sometimes just painting the trim white actually helps as well.
Okay. So are there, you talked about the landscaping. So how much work do you feel that people need to do in order to get that, sweet spot of the curb appeal? I mean, we're not talking about digging up everybody's yard and starting from scratch. What are some kind of the little or fundamental things that people can do? Weeding.
So when you list with us, we actually include a mow, edge, blow, and a curb appeal package. And that varies from client to client, but it might be bark, it might be some other things that we would add into there to just increase the curb appeal. larger landscaping projects like trimming a lot of bushes back, if they're overgrown in the windows, like we have a lot of rhododendrons around here, and they were planted in front of windows, and then they just weren't managed well, so they got big. So sometimes taking those things out is a good idea as well.
All right, so I guess thinking about the age of a property, you know, if you have a mature garden, then you're maybe going to have to think about cutting things back a little bit more just to increase that appeal.
Yes, and if it hasn't been maintained over the years, sometimes removing it and replacing it is the only option. And we have professionals that we work with that do that landscape type work and can help guide.
Okay.
That's part of our services as well, just to kind of go over exactly what needs to be done and not overdo something.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the return on investment.
Yeah, like with anything you do when you're putting your house on the market, you want it to look good for the people that are potentially looking at it and hoping maybe to buy it, but without sinking a lot of money into it yourself for something that you're not going to get the benefit of.
And something a lot of people don't think about, but is a fairly inexpensive thing to do, is to clean the windows inside and out. Have someone come over and do that, and it brightens the whole place up.
Yeah. I could imagine cutting back things like rhododendrons and shrubbery that's in front of windows is going to help with that too.
Yeah.
Right? Helping to kind of inside make it light and bright. What are some of the things that buyers are looking for then when they pull up to a property that we might not be thinking about?
Well, buyers in this market are looking for a turnkey ready property. They're not really looking for work orders. Prices are high, and interest rates have come up a little bit, although they're lower than the 50-year average interest rate. But
most people think of that though in terms of inside, but we're really focusing on the outside. Before people get to the door. So you're saying again, even with the front yard, they don't want to be spending money on that.
No, they don't want to be spending money on the front yard, the roof. That's one of the predominant things you see when you pull up. So making sure it's in good condition, and the gutters, you can brighten the gutters up. A lot of window washing companies, ours will do the gutters as well, clean the gutters out, wash the windows, make sure they're nice and bright.
So what are some mistakes that people make with their curb appeal, or lack thereof?
Well, I've seen a lot of people try and do it themselves, and that can sometimes take longer and not get the right stuff done, have it done improperly. Hiring professionals to have that stuff done is typically what I recommend. That way it's done by someone who does that type of work every day. You're not over pruning something, or mowing, edging, and blowing is something that the homeowner can do probably. But
right. So what I'm hearing that is don't get too happy with the shears and
don't
butcher
go
the bushes. Because that can turn people off to the look of the property, because like we talked about before, some people can't see past certain things, right?
Correct. And when you're prepping your house for sale, you've got a lot of different things that you've got to manage, and so delegating some of this easier work to the professionals, it's really inexpensive as well. So
right. Okay. So, what are some really simple things that people can do if they don't have the budget to, employ somebody else to do it? What are some really simple things? You talked about cleaning the windows. Well, for most people, that's something they have to hire somebody in for the outside anyway. You can do your insides, but outsides can be a little tricky if you're a 2-story property, right? So some foliage, some flowers.
Yeah, make it look bright when you pull up, for sure. Having some fresh tulips or whatever's in season at that point. Have some sort of basket to welcome you at the front door is always nice, if it's appropriate, if there's room.
Yeah, and I think other things that people maybe don't think about, making sure that your welcome mat or where you wipe your feet is clean, and maybe purchase a new one. They don't cost very much money, but it's a good first impression, right? Right,
and our stagers usually bring a new one.
Okay, so walk around the property, see if there are any visible kind of, cracks and paintwork that's peeling or patches that need to be done.
Yes, I mean, for curb appeal, we mainly focus on the front. After either you're in the house or on the back deck or the back patio, you definitely want to make sure that's in order as well. So just kind of maybe a little less work back there in the backyard, but definitely in the front. Focus your energy there.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that in curb appeal?
People kind of get in there. They think it's going to be cost too much money, or it's going to be way too much work, and it does, or what effect is that going to have on my house sale? And it has dollars and cents effect in the fact that when someone pulls up and it's in great order and looks good, they're likely to pay more for your house. So definitely worth it.
Yeah, think about it in terms of first impression, right? You only get one opportunity to make a good first impression, right? And it just takes 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds, for somebody to make a snap judgment on whether something is what they want or what they like. So, if you're not going to do anything else, maybe the curb appeal is where you need to jump in.
Absolutely. I mean, and it shows up better in your online photos as well. So you get better exposure. It's going to have people gravitate to want to come see your house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is pressure washing kind of an approachable thing for people to do too, or not as much?
Yeah, pressure washing is definitely something I recommend. I mean, we get that Northwest grime every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, also, I mean, especially if you're putting your house on in the market in the springtime, you've then got pollen to add to that, and and if you haven't pressure washed your driveway for a few years, there is that build up, right? Because you'll see the bits where your car's been for a while, and then there's the other bit where it's like, well, that's kind of darker, and you know what?
Very true.
And if you can hire us and to sell your house, and we've got the concierge services, but pressure washing is kind of fun to do.
Yeah, and pressure washing, you have to be careful with the nozzle though when you're like doing wood.
I know.
Yeah, you can damage it pretty easily.
Yeah.
They've got really great rotary heads that you can put on your pressure washer now and it's way faster too.
Oh, really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm only used to the old school.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I made a mistake with a nozzle with our back patio. We put slate in, and like the first year, my husband says, "You go out and do it." So I did, and I had it really narrowed. Yeah.
You started cutting it up?
Well, no, because it's so thick that it didn't, but it definitely left a little bit of a line.
Mark,
Like, okay, I'm not doing that for a couple of years. We'll let some build up happen.
Yeah,
So,
there you
word
go.
to the wise, be careful.
Yeah.
Especially with wood, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I think
I've got plenty more things to add, and that's why you should reach out to us.
Well,
and
absolutely.
it's going to be specific to your situation.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that make a good point there is that Troy, not me, but Troy may think of some things that you haven't thought of that would, help enhance the property in a way that would be, advantageous for you. So, if you're thinking about selling but not sure, it's still worth connecting with us, or connecting with Troy, and have him come out and give you an honest opinion and what he thinks would work for you.
Fresh set of eyes, right?
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
good way to think about it,
Yeah.
Chelsea. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's good.
And I see houses every day, so.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you very much for listening to TLC 10 Life Community with our fantastic guest, Chelsea. Thank you for coming in and
Thank
sharing
you.
your delicious cocktail with us. I'm your co-host, Pamela, and I'm here with Troy Anderson. And if you want to get in touch with us, where can they find you, Troy?
tendhometeam.com is the best place to find us, or you can give us a call, 206-504-3660.
And if you like what you're listening to, go ahead and find us on your favorite podcast platform, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Or you can listen to us and watch us at the same time on YouTube.
Yeah, ding the dinger.
Ding the dinger. What he means is hit the subscribe button. All right, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today, Chelsea. Thanks so much for coming
Thanks for coming
in.
on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey there, listeners. Are you looking for a real estate company that truly cares about the community and has a wealth of experience in the local market? Look no further than Tend Home Team. With over 20 years of experience here in the Pacific Northwest, we know the ins and outs of the real estate market like the back of our hand. Whether you're buying or selling a home, our team of experts is here to guide you every step of the way. And best of all, we make the process fun and stress-free. We love getting to know our clients and helping them find their dream home or sell their property quickly and easily. So if you want a real estate company that's truly focused on you and your needs, choose Tend Home Team. We can't wait to work with you. Contact us at tendhometeam.com or 206-504-3660.